happy new month. We're in the month of September. How y'all doing? I cannot wait to get into my books for September. And I'm starting early. Well, not early. We're on the second day of September, but I'm starting with The Outsider by Stephen King. I'm reading this book because another book that I wanted to read, which is Never Flinch by Stephen King, is part of a series, which this is the first book of that series. According to my research, I don't think you have to read them according to how they came out, how the books came out. But I just wanted to read it because I read the description and I was like, oh, yes, up my alley. I'm a detective, CSI, FBI kind of girl. And Stephen King is known to be very good in his writing when it comes to suspense, and so I cannot wait. Oh no, not again. I cannot wait to get into this. Now my only problem is I keep getting a Spanish translation of this book. I might not start on this book today. Wow, what a wait that September. I was very excited. I was really excited. Damn. Hello, I am happy to report that I got the book, The Outsider by Stephen King. So the body of a 14-year-old turns up. Every clue and every eyewitness points to this one character. Now, this character is known in the community. So the DA and some detectives, a detective decides they're going to do a very public arrest, which they do. And where I have gotten, it seems like there are holes in this investigation because it was rushed. The arrest was rushed. It was only 4 days. But yeah, the guy, the character seems to have a very strong alibi. So that is where I have reached. And I must say, Stephen King is living up to his name because I just want to devour this book. I might finish it today. Ah, no, might not. 547 pages. And I'm only on page 91. I think I'm going to read a bit more, maybe for like an hour or so, because it's about 7. So 8:30, and then I stop, and then we'll see where I have gotten. Then please, the hair. I slept without a bonnet, guys, and this is what happens. And it's daylight, as you can see. But yeah, good morning. Good morning. Let me read some more. Oh, I did try to read yesterday with audio, an audiobook. Now, here's the thing when I read, I imagine the scenario, I picture it in my head. I picture how the characters look, I picture how the scene would look like. That's just my process as I read. But when I had my earphones on and I was listening to the what? To the audiobook, I could not do that much like the beginning of the time because the guy had a country accent, and I was like, is this in like the countryside? I don't know. And so it was really hard for me to picture it because I also picture the sound of each character when they talk. It did not occur to me that that's how the characters would sound. So very, very interesting. But now I am no longer using the audiobook. I just got ready for the day. I'm going to do a lot of reading today. Uh, Calm down. Stop trying to mark yourself with me. But anyway, yeah. So I just got ready, but before I got ready, I got to page 119. Uh, if only you guys could see what he's doing. Page 119, which was okay. Sit down, calm down, calm down. Which which is in the middle of a chapter. So I want to finish that and go to the next chapter because I wanted to get ready so that I do my hair. I normally do my hair here at home. I'm just going to do a couple of three strand twists just because I'm going to wear my hair open on Sunday and today is Wednesday for church. So yeah. So let's get into some reading. What a day that the Lord has made. I just realized that I don't have my curtain. What are they called? Not curtains. The inside ones. The not liners. I know they're not called liners, but so the neighbors can basically see into my room. Yeah, and more noise is coming into the room as well. So apologies for that. Baba, will you be calm and sleep well for me, even though it's just the beginning of the day? Good morning. I was supposed to be somewhere at 9. It is 9. I'm still not fully awake. I'm actually quite sleepy. It's 9 a.m. If you can tell with the sun. But I finished Stephen King's The Outsider yesterday and I finished it at around 1:30, not yesterday, today morning, at around 1:30 a.m. and I slept at maybe around 2:30. So here are my thoughts. Great book, great on suspense, great on thriller, an amazing introduction to Mr. King. I really did enjoy reading this book. The ending, though, was a bit, I want to say disappointing for me. I don't know why. That's not what I was expecting. I was expecting something more gruesome, if that makes sense. But all in all, it was a nice book for me. I must admit, though, as I was reading it, I did forget that, he's used. This is the man who wrote I It. Is it It or IT? The alien guy. I think I didn't watch the movie as well. He's the same guy who wrote The Shining, and I hear that that's one of the most scariest books and movies that there is. And so I was a bit confused on whether I'm reading just a normal detective video or something more than it just being a detective, a mystery book. And yeah, it is part of the Holly Gibner series. Holly Gibner is a character who was developed in another series. I have not read it. I don't think you need to read that series in order to read this book. Um, and she was introduced in this book, she was introduced at least later on. She's not the main focus of this book, at least for the first half, I would say. I was questioning whether or not her role in the book was important. Like I feel like in the beginning of her introduction and her story here in this book, we could do without her, but with how the characters are developed, uh, later on I could see why there was need for her to be part of this. Not need per se, but I could see the importance or the arc that she brought into the story, right? I could see that. I know some people have, because I was reading some reviews yesterday after I finished, and I do know some people do believe that the story is drawn a whole lot longer than it needs to be. I really did not mind that. I feel like every part of the story made sense to the whole story. It don't make sense. I feel like it wasn't necessarily drawn out to the point where it was unnecessary. That is what I would say. Was it scary? Some parts were, but you know, I am putting that to the fact that I was listening to some horror slash mystery thriller playlists on YouTube. So that whole ambience could have made it a whole lot scarier. But when I was reading it without the music, it wasn't that scary. It wasn't like overall, oh my god, I need to sleep with my lights on scary. But there was very some scary bits, some scare sprinkled onto that. Overall, I think it was a good book, a great introduction to his stories. And now I'm wondering if all the books in this series kind of follow the same theme. So I think I will read more of, you know, of his book in this series. Hopefully by the end of September, I would have gotten to Never Flinch, because that's the not the last one per se, but the last one for now. I don't know if more books in that series will come out, but yeah. And then maybe I can trace back into um, you know, the previous series where Holly is introduced or is created, quote unquote. I also feel like I've taken longer to read this book. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to read another book, but I will give The Outsider a 4 out of 5 star rating because suspense is good. It's thrilling, thrilling, especially the first half, but I feel like the second half was not as thrilling as possible. I would have given it a 5 star. So it's a good book if you like thriller, if you like a bit of scare and horror mixed to that. I think it's a great book to read. I would definitely recommend.